Alright everyone, it's time for another and now for something horrible, and we're going to be going back to a topic that we talked about before, which is ladybugs, or sometimes called the ladybird beetles. These are coccinellid beetles, everyone loves these. Um, but something that you probably don't ever think about with them is their mating habits. I think last time we talked about them, we talked about how they're actually cannibals, which people don't realize. But ladybugs also mate prolifically, which is not surprising. This is actually one of the reasons that farmers really like them and entomologists really like them because they reproduce very quickly and they eat everything. So they're really good biological controls, predators. But one of the things that we don't ever talk about with insects mating is the rate of sexually transmitted diseases in them. And this is probably something most people don't ever think about, but STDs exist in other species. They actually exist in pretty much every species, and insects are no different. So insects frequently get STDs, and ladybugs have the highest rate of STDs probably among any animal. In some locations, the STD rates of infection can reach 95% of the population, especially when, depending on when in the summer it is that you have overlapping generations of ladybugs. So the older ladybugs are mating with the freshly emerged ladybugs and spreading STDs that way. So with most insects, the predominant group of all infective agents are fungi. Um, and obviously insects can also get viruses and bacteria just like humans do, but with most insects, fungi are the big deal. And in ladybugs, it's no different. So there are multiple kinds of fungal sexually transmitted diseases in ladybugs, and they're actually visible with the naked eye if you're actually looking and paying attention close enough. So one type will form these black scales on the wings, kind of like, I don't know what you would say, genital warts coming off of the wings. And so on both the outer wings, the elytra, and the inner wings, you can see these black fungal scales protruding. And then one of the easier ones actually is also another fungus, which form these globules. Again, on the external parts of the wings. So they're very, very easy to see. So next time you're out catching ladybugs, you might want to give a little look to see if you see these fungal sacs protruding off of the ladybug's wings. And the reason that these are spread so easily is if you go back to their mating, if they have little sacs of fungus on their elytra, like these little white spots here, when the male mounts, he will pick up or he will brush up against these fungi. Now the fungi will adhere to his sternum, the underside of his body, and it just spreads that way. So super disturbing if you are not familiar with all of the STDs amongst insects. There's actually another. There are more serious versions. These particular STDs are not actually particularly dangerous to the insects because they're mostly external. There are STDs of ladybugs which are very dangerous. There are internal mite infections, internal fungal infections, things like that, which will result in sterility and death in ladybugs. These particular ones don't seem to have too much of an impact, these fungal infections. But it is gross if you don't like to think about it quite a bit. So next time that you pick up a ladybug, just know that it likely is riddled with STDs. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.